What's cracking, my YouTube friends? I have hopefully a quick project to do tonight. I went to my local pick and pull, pick apart earlier this week, and I was looking for a small part for my vacuum or evap system on the Jeep, and that's all I was after. But while I was looking, I found this excellent specimen of a passenger seat which match my interior. My front seats have been crap since I bought the Jeep, and I have been on the lookout for better ones, but to get them reupholstered is cost prohibitive, and every time I find one that matches, it smells like animal excrement, or it smells like smoke, or it's worn in and of itself. So this is the first time I have found one that's really usable. I've got one small problem that I need to solve though. That is the Jeep I pulled this off of has a power bracket on the front, and my Jeep does not have that. I could wire it for that, but I'm not really interested in doing so. The brackets I've got do move in several different directions that makes them pretty comfortable. So what I want to do is replace essentially the seat frames and brackets, which, looking at my manual, I believe is just 4 bolts that I need to take off. So I'm going to try it on this first. And if that is a success, then I'll come pull the front seat out and swap it over. My wife and I have discussed making new seat covers ourselves, which would mostly be her doing the sewing. I have replaced a seat cover in one of my other vehicles. It's not a terribly hard job, but of course you have to have it sewed up first. And the main problem with that is my wife does not have a sewing machine capable of handling that type of material. So we'd have to invest in a new sewing machine. It is something we're interested in doing, but not right now. We don't want to incur that expense. So that's something we need to hold off on. That leaves us with finding a cover from someplace else. We did find a company that does covers for Jeep vehicles, but they did not have a pattern for an XJ. They said if we would provide a cover for them, that they would reverse engineer it and create one and would give us a discount for having supplied the pattern material. But that would leave us without a functioning seat. And we do use this vehicle often enough that we can't really afford too much downtime in that regard. So this is really a fortuitous find because I can get my wife at least a nice seat. This is a passenger seat, and they are like side specific, mostly because of the recliner lever that is on the outside. So I am going to put this in the passenger seat where I pulled it from. My wife will have a nice seat that is comfortable, and then we can use the passenger one, which is slightly better shape than my driver's side one, and at least get the pattern. And when the time comes that we can get a machine or find a company, we now have an extra one to reverse engineer the pattern. With that said, I believe all I need to do on this frame is get 4 bolts off, 2 right here in the front and 2 kind of matching ones in the back. Now I believe these nuts are welded on, so that's going to have to come out from that back side. I'll need kind of a skinny wrench to get in there. But really, that should do it. And then I believe this frame will pop off. It's either these ones, which I showed you, or it might be some, there's also, you can see, there's one like right there that also comes out from the bottom side. So I'll see which one it is. It appears, I can't totally tell, but this bracket may be attached to this, which goes up into the back, and that's kind of what I am unsure of about disconnecting. Let me grab the wrenches and start taking some bolts off and see what I can find out. It just took me a couple minutes, but I've got it off. As I suspected, this bracket is tied in with these rails here. So the main bracket was these 4 bolts. These two in the back come in from the top side and go down, whereas the other 2 go the other way and had these starred nuts on the back side. So in just a couple of minutes, I have my passenger seat out, and this frame looks a little bit different. There's more screws, but these are all related to the rails and everything. The attachment points for this assembly appear to be the same, although because of these rails coming kind of swinging back, which the powered one does not have, I've got little tighter tolerances in there. So it's taking me a little bit longer to get this one off, just because I don't have as much range of motion on my wrench. But other than that, this should come right off and swap right over. I've got my bracket on. All my bolts or nuts are started. The back ones weren't too bad. There was enough room on those. I was able to get my ratchet end of my wrench on and off of it and got those started, but you can't do that with the nuts on the front that are up in here. Those are nice and tight. I don't know if I can get, you can almost see that one right there in the background a little bit. Getting this one started was quite a bit easier just because of access. I was able to use some long reach needle nose and get it to thread on just enough to get it started, which it is now. I've confirmed. Same with this one over here. So they are all started, but it is you're gonna need some patience. It's probably, I think these are intended to be approached from the other side, so I do believe that the seat is supposed to come off of the seat frame and then put on, these are supposed to be put on these assemblies from basically from the top side down, and I'm trying to do it the other way around. Proof of concept is here. It is possible, but if you are willing to deal with a little extra, so it would be these 2 bolts, and there's 2 more in the back, these 2 right here. The one thing that I'm just not sure about is this tube, like where that goes or how far up it goes. It can't go too far because these seats do recline, so it's got a break just right up here somewhere. But that's the main reason I didn't want to pull these off, is I didn't know what I would be getting into with that. So I do have these started, so I'm going to take a few minutes and now get them torqued down, because they are on there just loose right now. But then I'll be ready to put this back in, and that is like a 5-minute job. Frame is on, and so out with the old, in with the new. You can see why I wanted to swap it out. I did give this a upholstery clean when I first got the Jeep, and you can still see a bunch of the stains and stuff that stayed in it. This seat is just in much nicer condition. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, especially for finding it at a scrapyard. There is a difference in the headrest, and I'm thinking that my wife's going to prefer that one, which, if so, this is ready to put in, but I will ask her, and then we'll be just about wrapped up. As I suspected, my wife ultimately decided she wanted the headrest that came with the seat, thinking that it would be a little more comfortable than the like vinyl wrapped one that we took out. And that's pretty much what I suspected the outcome would be. I got the seat installed last night, but with the ambient light, the camera wasn't really picking it up, so it didn't really show it very well. And here it is, set to go, no seat cover. We are discussing ways to get the other one a little more up to par. Now that we've got a nicer one here, of course, we've got the itch to get them both looking equally nice. I was thinking this was a little bit of fuzz, but it turns out that is a small spot. But when we hit it with the cleaner, it should take care of that. So, all installed, just like that. A very doable project. It took me maybe 2 hours, and like I said, if you wanted to dive into it a little further and take the seat off the frame, there's some things that you could certainly access easier and speed up. I don't know overall in the project how much that would speed it up. Obviously it's doable the way that I did it, and I'm just tickled to have a decent seat that totally matches the rest of my interior. So I'm going to wrap this one up there. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down there. And if you'd like to see more videos on this project or some of the other ones that I've got coming up, hit the subscribe button, notifications, or at least give me a like if you wouldn't mind. That doesn't cost you a thing and would really help out my channel. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one.